you. I got my hair cut recently. I asked for the He-Man. Feeling good about that. I do want to thank you guys for coming. It's great for you guys to show up. It's obviously great for us to be able to do this, especially for me, since I've been kind of going through this period of frustration with my life and where it's going. Not like a huge amount of frustration, like more like when you just step out of the shower and realize you have to go number 2. That post-kill moment. That's about the level of frustration. I've been watching a lot of movies lately, and I've kind of found that when you rewatch movies as an adult that were a big deal to you as a kid growing up, you're often able to pick up on things that you missed when you were younger. Last week I was watching one of my all-time favorite movies, Back to the Future. And I'm right at the end where Marty's made it safely back to 1985. And soon after, the new and much improved George McFly busts Biff for fudging about how far along he is into the wax job he's giving his car. And Biff cops to it almost immediately and confesses, and George doesn't get too worked up about it, and actually says to his wife, sure, that Biff's a character, but without him, we never would have fallen in love. Which, as a kid, I never really thought too much about, but as an adult, I now realize that's like an insanely positive attitude to have about the guy you had to stop from raping your wife. George McFly does not hold a grudge. I just sold a bunch of my CDs last week, which is never like a boost to your self-esteem, because you never sell the CDs you can be proud of yourself for buying. I'm not going in there with Nirvana's Nevermind. It's the Armageddon soundtrack I'm taking to the CD store. And it's tough for guys because it's like a brutal process because guys establish a great deal of self-worth from their CD collection. Girls are not typically the same, but with a guy's collection, you can usually see how we transition from the Kinks to Wilco and over to Radiohead. But there's often no rhyme or reason to a girl's CD collection. One girl I dated had a few Rancid CDs and a few Jack Johnson CDs, and that's it, She was just to chill at the beach and really fuck shit up. I actually just told a female friend of mine that I've made a sex CD or 2 in my day, and that seemed to surprise her, but I think that's a totally reasonable thing to do, because sometimes you'll put on a CD that has some appropriate songs for the moment, but rarely does an entire CD fit that purpose, But the mistake I made was writing sex CD on the disc, because just as I was putting the CD in the player, the girl sound was like, we're not having sex, right? And I was like, well, yeah, but I'm certainly not going to title a CD Handjob Melodies. That would be ridiculous. Of course, now it's been so long since I've had any sort of physical female contact that I'm starting to think my world has been created just to ensure that never happens. Somewhere there's a control room full of scientists having discussions how's the 4th year of Project Dry Spell going? Well, all the other subjects killed themselves years ago. David Gross is the only one left. It's almost as if he's accepted his pussyless reality. Well, let me ask you this. Can we up the number of friends he has having sex all the time? Can we do that? Absolutely, sir. I'm on that. Oh, and see that girl that's rejecting him right now? Let's have her start begging this fat tub of shit friend Carl. See how he handles that. That sort of is brilliant. I suspect he'll be devastated. And I gotta admit, I really think I should be dating really. I'm relatively respectful. I don't have any weird fetishes. Some of these people, I don't even know how they develop these fetishes. Necrophilia, for instance. How does that get triggered? Does it start out the beginning to most Law and Order episodes, where 2 guys are walking down an alley, they see a dead girl beside a dumpster, and one guy's like, oh man, I'm gonna go call the cops, and the other guy's like, or. I'm obviously all for the idea of having a girlfriend, but I am a little afraid of going to the dark side of being in a relationship, because one of my friends hangs out with his girlfriend so much, even John Lennon would be like, dude, really, you gotta take her everywhere? You don't think that's a bit much? Not a lot of big Beatle fans here. And it just, it's crazy to me because like I just turned 30 a while back, and it genuinely puzzles me how much I still don't know what I'm doing with girls. Because like if you picture like a 13-year-old kid talking to some 30-year-old guy, and the kid's just like, I just get so nervous whenever I talk to girls. I don't know what to say. You don't picture the 30-year-old guy being like, yeah, I know. What are we gonna do? I know everyone's got their own like dating horror stories, like she dumped me for my best friend. But I would say that's not like so bad, It's like, I've never been dumped for anyone, and I think that's far worse, Because like essentially what every girl I've ever dated has told me is, we've dated a few months, I've seen what you have to offer, and I'd rather have nothing than what you bring to the table. It's like, no, I haven't found anyone better, I just found life without you better. And it's like, how do you compete with nothing, I mean, like before I started dating, if somebody had told me I'd be up against nothing, I would have thought I'd win hands down, I can pick up stuff, I'm always giving out gum. Yet nothing beats me every time. But, I should say I really don't blame myself for like most of my failed relationships. Like mostly I just blame TiVo, because hear me out. Because before TiVo, my girlfriends would always ask me to record their favorite shows for them, because they usually have a job and I usually, want it. And so I'd do that. I'd record their shows and we'd watch their tape together, and they'd always be like, David, you're so sweet. You took out all the commercials. Get inside me this instant. And that was like the one thing I brought to the table, Like, I don't really like David, but I hate commercials. Yeah, and like the last girl I dated, she actually like ran a marathon to raise money for leukemia. I guess against leukemia, whatever. Which I guess is cool. But like my thing is like, if I'm gonna give you money for your cause, I'm just gonna give you the money. Like I don't need you to run for it. So that would kind of make me a dick. But I mean, the bigger issue for me is this. It's called a marathon because a Greek soldier was sent from the town of Marathon to Athens to announce that the Persians had been defeated. Now, he ran the entire 26 miles without stopping, made the announcement, and then collapsed and died. Now, what I want to know is what asshole saw this go down and was like, we should make this a thing, what this guy just died from doing. What do you guys say? Yeah. And the last time I spoke with that ex-girlfriend, she was researching the characteristics of geniuses for her thesis. And she was telling me about it, how apparently like geniuses are both humble and proud. They're introverted and extroverted. And she said, oh, you like this one? Geniuses have both masculine and feminine qualities. I was like, why would I like that one? And then she started laughing, and I started to menstruate. And so it's funny whenever you're dating someone, how you try to pick up on these like little clues to find out what the other person really thinks of you, And like, I mean, I guess we pretty much do that with everyone, Like have you ever noticed whenever someone writes you a letter and part of it's crossed out, your entire focus becomes reading the crossed out portion of the letter? And like it's gonna reveal some dark secret about the person? Like as if the guy's writing like, things of mine are going well, I got that job I told you about. Yesterday I stuck a cucumber on my ass with disastrous results. Then wait a second, that was off track. Glad I caught that. But if you ever like really want to screw somebody's mind, like especially like an ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend, just write, why can't we be together? If I can't be with you, make sure nobody can, I promise you that. Then just cross it out. And then put, I'm so happy with our friendship. Let's catch a movie this weekend. Just you and me. Then if she ever takes it to the police, she'll be like, what do you mean there's nothing you can do? Well, you crossed it out, man. You weren't even supposed to read that part. You would have the law on your side. But, I think the last time I ever wrote letters on any sort of like consistent basis was in the 5th grade when my teacher had us write letters to soldiers in Desert Storm. But I always have the problem never really knowing what to write my soldier. So I'd just be like, I'm getting a C in math. It's gotten really hard, I don't know what I should do, you know? And then, you know, he'd write back, he'd be like, sorry about your math troubles, but I bet the more I tell you about being away from home and at war, the less difficult math will seem. And I'd write back, yeah, I feel like you don't understand what math is.